Hey folks, how are you doing? Today we have our own Audi TTRS. This is the first time that we will do an acceleration test with it. Unfortunately, it's a bit dark out there, but I guess that should not influence our time that we managed to do. It will be a very interesting question, honestly, if this car will get the same speed compared to our previous generation, or more or less, let's say pre-OPF Audi RS3, which of course has the same amount of power but didn't have the OPF and didn't have the newest regulations. There was a lot of debate if the cars of the model year 19 and 20 are pulling as much as the cars of the model year 18, and we will now find out using the drift box, measuring the time to 100 of course, and also 100 to 200. Something that I have to say, comparing also and showing you the numbers of our Audi RS3. The S3 and RS3 sedans were always faster from 100 to 200 than the TTS and the TTRS. That is something that you have to keep in mind. First of all, the shape of the TTRS, it's a very short car, is not ideal for higher speeds. The sedan is better there, although it got a weight advantage. And secondly, the TTRS always runs on the TTS also on 20-inch wheels, which are wider and bigger compared to the 19-inch wheels of the RS3, and that would influence the time of course, and we will likely see it's always slower than an RS3, or a bit slower, but of course we will also see how much that really affects. So I'm really anxious to see it. We will put everything into sport, of course traction control into sport handling mode in order to engage the launch control. Yeah, and let's see how it does. A few more sentences to the kilometers. More or less this car is now 7,500 kilometers on the clock and should be partially run in, maybe not full power, but should be pretty good, and we will see how that turns out. Let's now see how fast the car goes from 100 to 200. Managed to do some pretty reasonable times, because the drift box says 3.7 seconds to 100 and a 9.4 seconds 100 to 200, which is actually not that much slower than what we tested with our RS3. And as said, those RS3s are always faster a bit than the comparable TTRS because of the 20-inch tires and because of the shorter wheelbase and, let's say, the not ideal shape compared to the sedan. That is more or less the same number that we have tested under the same conditions with let's say model year 17 TTRS or model year 16 TTRS even, which had even the more or less better exhaust system on it. And that means for me truly that there is no real lack in performance compared to the outgoing non-OPF 18 model years that we can show here. There was a lot of debate that there's no power in the high RPMs and higher speeds. This test more or less shows that that is the same that we also experienced with our previous non-OPF car, and that the, let's say, changes are so minimal that they are more or less due to wind direction and tire size and not actually to the power delivery. That also fits to the subjective feeling of the power that the car has, that you feel that there's a lot of in it, and you have the feeling it's more than 400 horsepower. So anybody that let's say is buying one of those cars or ordered one of those cars, yes, the exhaust sound of course of the Model Year 18 was more emotional, but this still has a good exhaust sound and the power is still there. So yeah, let's have some fun with this car here on the Autobahn and further continue with stuff on Instagram and Facebook.